So this is what a tankless valve kit looks like. Cold on the right, hot on the left. Without the tankless valve kit, if the water heater ever leaks, you cannot turn these valves off on the side to isolate the water heater. The problem is if you just turn off the main feed here, when a homeowner goes in their house and turns on their cold water, the cold water will loop through the faucets or the shower valves through the hot line and come through here and continue to leak out the water heater. This is why you need to have isolation valves on the cold and hot, so if you ever do have a problem with your water heater, you can isolate it down so you don't cause any more further damage. If you notice on your tanklesses that you do not have these shutoff valves, please give us a call at Water Heater Pros. And also, you should also know too, tankless water heaters, because the water is so hard in Las Vegas, they need at least a flush once a year to determine how hard the elements are working and how clean they are for future use. We're gonna start prepping the water heater to install the new tankless valve kits, but first we have to take off the old flex lines that are here. So we're just gonna disconnect the lines. I like to use, personally, anything that can be seen by homeowners. I like to use smooth jaw channel locks, so that way we don't leave teeth marks on the lines when we're done. It looks clean and professional. We're gonna loosen up the flex lines. I also like to have my cart underneath where I'm working, so that way I can put the buckets of water on the cart if I need to, so I don't have to hold them while I'm waiting for the system to drain down. We're gonna loosen up the cold side here on the bottom to relieve any water pressure that's in the tank on the cold side. So that way when we disconnect it from the tankless up here, we will not get as much water coming out. And because this house is exactly 1 year old, I won't change the supply lines, but usually any houses that I have to do this work that are usually 2+ years old, I put on new supply lines because the washers inside of the hex nut gets worn. And what I tell most of my customers is, if you buy a new car, you don't put your old oil and your old tires on a new car, right? For the minimal cost of what it cost me to install these, it gives me a peace of mind at night knowing everything I installed on your tankless is brand new. So now that we got the supply nuts off, we're gonna put a little Teflon tape on the nuts. And because it's such tight quarters, I have to be creative as I put it on. Wrap the blue tape around, which will act like a water seal when I screw on the new nuts for the tankless valve kit. So there we go. We got the Teflon tape on. Now we're gonna install. The good thing about the tankless valve kits, they come with blue and red handles, so you can't confuse hot and cold. It makes it really easy. And we just unspin it, and we put that on there. We disconnect the hot side. Put this one on here. Then we take our smooth drawer channel locks so we don't leave teeth marks, and we tighten up the nuts. You don't need to go super tight on these. You'll know when you hit torque because it's gonna get harder to tighten. Because of the way the system is set up, when you don't take the cover off, you have to be careful you don't over tighten and snap something inside the tankless, which would cause a water leak. And then you're, unfortunately, replacing the whole tankless for the homeowner, free of charge. Okay, those are on. So, what I want to show everybody is on a gas-powered tankless water heater, You have to supply what's called a T&P blow-off line in case the pressure inside the gas tankless gets too hot and builds up too much pressure. This will blow off and will allow the water to drain out. Because it's an electric, we can plug the line, because if an electric tankless gets too hot, the elements will blow inside before it gets too hot where it needs to have a blow off. So we're gonna put some Teflon tape on this. My Teflon work is not the cleanest, but it gets the job done. Screws in here. Then we just tighten her up. Now, as you can see, we have threaded joints, right? Threaded flex connectors. We can't make that connection. So what we do is we take our copper street mail adapter, slide it inside, take our Milwaukee Pro Press, hold the fittings together, push the trigger, and make the connection. If you see that little washer in there, that washer gets pinched or pulled out, that's what actually makes the seal. So you have to make sure that washer is in good standing when you install it. Okay, cold side. Slide the washer back in. Make sure the washer's there, right? Here's another thing I found wrong with this install. The plumbers that did it screwed the tankless right to the drywall. It doesn't give us any play or any room from the wall to the valves, as you can see here, to give us any room for hooking up. When I install my tanklesses, I like to put a piece of wood across the top and a piece of wood across the bottom, screw it to the studs, and then mount the tankless on the wood. What that does is it allows me to give myself 2.5 to 3 inches off the wall to allow me to get my pliers in there and be able to tighten up and do. So now I have to modify everything just a little bit because we don't have room at the wall. I feel like I'm on trial for my life over here. I'm sweating. No. So here's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. Because the plumbers put this so cold, so close to the wall, when you turn this valve, you have to make sure the valve, see how tight this is? You have to make sure this valve is able to clear the wall when you turn it off. Otherwise, if it's partially open, it doesn't do anything. So now that we got that in there, we're gonna tighten this up. Right there. We're gonna put a little Teflon tape on our other threads, our other 4 threads that we have. And sometimes I get ahead of myself. I should have put the Teflon on before I screwed it to the tankless, but sometimes I get ahead of myself. And this is a good reason why you should put it on before you mount it to the tankless. It just gives you more room to allow your fingers to get around. So now we're gonna rehook up the flexes, so that way if we accidentally turn the water on, we're not gonna get wet. Gotta make sure you don't cross thread the threads. And sometimes the washers get hung up. And I love these smooth jaw channel locks. They're like vice grips. So once they lock onto the nut, they lock on. There is no set time frame on this. You want to make sure all your water connections are hooked on correctly with no leaks before you start your flush. So what we will do is we will turn the water on really quick and let it run through the system one more time, just to make sure we have no leaks before we start running the solution through. But most times when you do tanklesses, the tankless valve kits are already installed, so you don't need to do this step. You could just come in and start flushing the heater right away. And the good thing about these stainless steel corrugated flexes, they're very flexible. So you don't have to worry about splitting them like the old copper ones. Because all the copper ones, they take the copper and they stretch it and twist it as they make them. These ones are a little different with the stainless steel. I think they're made a little bit better. But then again, every plumber's got his own opinion. Okay, so now we're connected. We're going to turn the water back onto the tankless really quick. Make sure we have no leaks. You can hear the water going through. I can hear water running inside at the homeowner's house. So now that we did that, now watch the simple. Turn this off, turn that off. Water's off to the tankless. Now we can prep to get ready to do the tankless flush.